Evening everybody, hopefully you can hear us and you can see us. It is of course time for our Creative Expressions Monday Night Natter on the 1st of December. And oh my goodness, what a Monday it has been. It has been a joyous day and it is topped off by being with you lovely people for the next hour or so, bringing you some crafty inspiration from the wonderful world of creative expressions. Now, this evening we have changed things up a little bit to what was planned, being honest with you. About half hour ago, decisions were made because nothing's ever done in prep here and things got moved around a little. There is good news and there is bad news. The good news is that I will be back with you again on Friday evening for what is going to be our Crafty Concoctions Stockist launch evening. As our Crafty Concoctions, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Our Crafty Concoctions Stockist launch has been moved to 10 AM Friday morning. So Friday evening, I will be here with you at 7 PM for another live this week to give you some Crafty Concoctions inspiration. And we're going to do it on Friday because Gwen is live with you on Hobby Maker on Thursday. And we don't want to go getting in the way of you watching Gwen because Gwen is going to be bringing you some brand new goodies. So lots of changes all in last minutes as they do around here. And then on top of that, which I shouldn't confess to you, I lost my iPad somewhere in the building. And me and Pete have spent the last 10 minutes running around the building, all the different places, all the different rooms, all the different floors, like madmen trying to find the iPad, because although all of this technology kind of works independently, well it doesn't, it all runs through an iPad and we couldn't find the iPad for love nor money. So if you'd like a funny image, imagine us two running around in different directions, desperately trying to find an iPad, which I'd actually hid on the top of a shelf somewhere. Not very intelligent at all, is it? This is what you're dealing with. We shouldn't confess these things. So before I confess any more, before we say hello to you guys, and you can laugh at how silly I've been, should we jump on over to our hostage camera and see if Pete's still with us and in the chair this week? Good evening, Peter.
Still here. Good evening, all. How are we all doing? You're okay? We literally said we were like Annika Rice running around the building hunting for these things, didn't we? It was like supermarket sweet mixed with Annika.
It was bonkers crazy. I was like, they're not going to believe we're late this evening because we couldn't find the iPad.
We were out in the car park, we're everywhere.
Poor Pete. Oh. They even sent him outside. I was like, maybe it's in the car. Maybe we didn't bring it in. I did bring it in. I knew I'd brought it in. Nevertheless. Anyway, enough confessions from us and our shenanigans of the day. Let's say good evening to a few of you. Oh, there's lots of you joining us. It's lovely to see so many of you here with us this evening. Tonight is just going to be a bit of a playtime, to be honest. I've got a few kits that we're going to work through. But if you do have any questions, then do let us know in the comments and we'll do our best to answer them for you. Now, as I said earlier, Friday evening will be our Crafty Concoctions evening. So we'll try and delve more into them products on Friday. But if you've got any questions about anything else under our umbrella, then please let us know this evening and we'll try our best to answer them for you. Good evening, Hadrian's Hobbies. It is lovely to have you with us. Thank you very much for joining us. Do you know what? And I don't think we've had this discussion. I don't think we've had this chat. I see a very lovely comment from Hadrian's Hobbies the other day who said that we was their #1 go-to company.
Oh, really?
As a store.
No,
I'm sure it was Hadrian's Hobbies. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure it was you guys.
Oh,
and I thought it was so lovely. Out of all of the craft suppliers in the world, our little world has managed to make it to their #1 supplier. I thought that was very, very sweet. You might say that to all of the companies you work with, but we're going to take it. We're going to work with it and we're going to enjoy that for the moment that you've given us. So thank you very much. Good evening, Kim. Good evening, Kathleen, Lynn, Bethan, Lindsay, Alison, Debbie, Sharon, Sue, May, Judy, Joyce, Sharon, Lynn, Mary. Oh, Mary's made it home. We only see Mary earlier today. We have had a day and a half here. Some of you may know this, some of you may not, but Craftmania opens its new store today and I've been in the store to welcome and say hello to a few people, and Mary was one of the people who travelled up to see us, which was absolutely lovely, and to know that she's made it back to a screen ready for tonight's live is pretty bonkers. So thank you, Mary, for joining us today and being back with us for this evening. That is lovely to see. There are so many of you with us. It's so lovely to have you here. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll hand over the comments to Pete to keep an eye on. And if you have any questions, he'll read them out throughout the evening and let us know if there's anything we can help you with. Now, what other news do I have to tell you about today? I said to Pete a little while ago, not too sure what news I can share with you this evening. I feel like we've told you an awful lot recently, so I've kind of got to be careful. But what can I tell you about? I can tell you a little bit about Gwen's shows, can't I? So did any of you join Gwen for last week's sneaky peek? And I know we're bringing you a lot at the moment. I'm going to be honest with you. Christmas is around the corner. Christmas means that in our release calendar, we take a bit of a break to allow for Christmas. So we're trying to get all of the bits and pieces out of the way before we start the new year. So there is a brand new, and there's kind of that lull in the middle, isn't there, when we're all kind of a bit full of mince pies and turkey. So we've kind of got a lot to chock into a little time frame. Hence why Crafty Concoctions is just launching, and Sue has brought out her brand new collection. And Woodware's not too far away. But we'll talk about Sue's brand new collection. We have told them Woodware's not too far away.
We have, yes.
We have told them that there is a new Woodware collection. I did tell you on Hobby Maker the other day, new Woodware is en route. I got the shake of the head, I got the very angry face. So, yes. But I am going to show you this. So Gwen will be bringing this to you on Hobby Maker exclusively on Thursday. This is a brand new collection from Sue Wilson. It is certainly going to work with lots of previous collections, but it is really, really gorgeous. I'm just going to zoom out a bit so you can see all of the collection in one go, because it is actually a really, really lovely set. And I know that Gwen took you through a lot of this on Thursday last week, so if you missed that live and you want to go back and catch it up, you absolutely can do. And of course, I'll give you Gwen's show times in a moment as well for this coming Thursday, so you know when to watch. But just to give you a bit of an overview, in case you missed Gwen's sneaky last week, there is new geometric hearts. There's 10 dies in this set and lots of possibilities. Whenever we're talking Sue and we're talking that amount of dies, it means that Sue's gone ahead and given you lots of options as to the ways you can layer it, the bits you can cut in, the bits you can cut out, the frames that you can create with them. There really is a lot of options within that set. Kind of two main focals, but actually lots of different scopes and ways we can layer and create. Then we've got one of my personal favourites. I love this. This is the heart background. This one has 2 dies in this set, and that means that we have an outside edge which is separate to the main panel, and then the main panel itself. And again, a bit like when we're talking about this set, that means that the outside edge isn't attached. So we can cut this in, we can tile cut it, so we can multi-cut it to make up bigger backgrounds, or we can use the outside edge to actually trim it out and have it as a freestanding panel. I suppose the reason I like this panel so much, A, is the size and dimension of it, because it's actually quite a nice size to go on smaller cards. The largest die, which is the outside edge, is 4.75 by 6.3 inches. So around the A6 mark, to give you a scope of size there. I also really like the way that Sue's designed the hearts with that kind of little swish attached to them that I think is really lovely. And the way she's kind of tucked those little swishes in throughout the design, it just gives a really flowing, swirly look to it. And I do love a swirly look. Then we move on, and this is stunning. If this isn't the most popular die in this collection, I will eat my hat, because I think this one's a really lovely one. This is the Lacy Stained Glass Heart. Lacy Stained Glass, yeah, I did get that right. Lacy Stained Glass Heart, I'll attempt again. 3 dies, and within this one, again, lots and lots of scope. We've got the swirly element in the middle. We've got an outside edge to it, which is going to cut that out, or we can leave this out of the equation, and we can cut that lacy element into this really cool delicate heart. Now here it looks like a bit of a solid mass, because it is a solid metal, but actually when we go back to the packaging, this is what we're cutting, this beautiful fringing that's running around the outside of that heart to give you a truly beautiful effect. Then we move on and we've got heart flourishes. These are beautiful too. You know I love a twiddly bit. I'm a bit obsessed with twiddly bits, aren't I? And these are no different. The way that we can build these up, add them into our flowers, make backgrounds with them, make corners with them, make borders with them. I adore these. There's 2 of these in this set. Independent, so you can choose which ones you cut and how often you cut them. But as you can see, even here in die form, how easy that would be to actually create a complete background with those would be really, really special. Then we've got our heart wreath. Now this is a lovely one. This is quite if I say small die, that's a silly thing because it isn't a small die. It's approximately 3 inches by 3 inches really. But it's kind of a small die in the sense of it could be on an A6 card, but actually you could build it up onto an 8x8 card and it not be lost. It would fit very nicely scope wise. It's also going to, of course, go really well with that background, as do all of them in honesty. And then we move on to a few sentiments. We have the word love. Now, Sue did joy and peace at Christmas in the same style, and that I mean that there are individual letters and a backing plate to go with them, and the individual letters cut out and you can, as a individual, can be used on their own, or you can build them up as you see them here, or of course you can do different backgrounds and patterns with them if you wish to. And each letter has lots of debossed details on them, which just gives a really lovely finish to each of those, which is a really nice way to actually have that decoration added. We've then got from the heart, this lovely little sentiment, which again, we love Sue's kind of mini expression sentiments, don't we? And this again is a really lovely one, and it's all in one line, but of course can be snipped apart if you prefer. Then we have Just For You, which of course comes in all throughout the year and is a great sentiment for us to have in our collection. And then to complete this release that Gwen will be launching with you on Thursday, we have Sue's Heart Stencil, which is just a really lovely heart background, which might be for anniversaries, might be for weddings, could just be a birthday card to somebody we really love. But that is going to complete Sue's brand new romance collection, which, as I say, Gwen is going to launch on Thursday at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. exclusively on Hobby Maker. And what I love about Sue's collections at the moment is they're not huge. They're not massive collections. So actually, if you're looking at this and thinking, you know, budget's a little bit tighter at the moment, Christmas is around the corner, or maybe you're looking at it and thinking, maybe Santa might run to this one for me, I'll give you a sneaky. It's not a huge price point. Some of the bundles we've done recently have literally gone up to over £200. That's a considerable purchase. We don't take them kind of bundles lightly. But with this one, we're bringing that right the way down quite a bit for you in the hope that it might help if it is something we're looking for to ask Father Christmas for, or maybe because we're all spending that little bit more on Christmas, you know, but we still want to treat ourselves, don't we? We still need a gift for ourselves. Maybe it's a gift to go under the tree to yourself. But as I say, all of this lot exclusively launching on Hobby Maker with Gwen, the lovely Gwen Fletcher, on Thursday, exclusively at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. So that's something to look forward to, isn't it? What more is there to ask for? Well, I hear you ask, how about a little bit more of a dig through our Black Friday offers? Now, we're going to avoid the sympathy coughing problem that we had the other night on air, hopefully. Although I will say this, Pete set these up, so anything's possible at this stage. We could end up with a repeat of that. We could end up with something worse. But just in case you haven't seen them, I did want to run you through some sale dies, because it's really important to me that we bring you, obviously, lots and lots of goodies and lots of new releases. But actually, as important as bringing you new goodies and new releases is making sure that you know about the bargains. Because it's wrong of us to not let you and really see them and highlight them. Because it's our kind of way of rewarding you guys, I suppose, if you look at it like that. You know, you support us all year round. It's really good that we make sure that if there's a bargain to be had, we let you know about it so you can add them to your stash. And maybe it's a collection that come out and at the time you didn't go for the whole bundle, and you just want to now add in that extra detail to it. So we're not going to spend hours on these, but I did want to just run through them quickly. We spoke about them last week, but I didn't give you the prices. I just told you that they were kind of scattered. Now they're about and they're released and you can get hold of them. I really think it might be nice to just take a couple of minutes to run through them and tell you a little bit more about them, if that's okay with you lot. So we're going to start off with the cheapest, because I always think that that's the best place to be. Let's start with the cheapest and build up. Now, I don't know all of the recommended retail prices of these, because if I tell you that bit as well, we are going to be here for a while and I don't want to take up all evening with running through that. But I am going to tell you that these ones that are on your screen currently are now reduced to just £2 each. £2. That is it. I know it's silly. It is silly. It's really silly. but they are only £2 each. And I know that some of you are going to go, well, where do I buy these? Where can I go and find them? Some of our stockists have them available, so you might want to go through the stockist list if you would like to. Some stockists come in for some of the Black Friday deals, not all of them did, so it might be a little bit of a searching game, but you will find them at your stockist. You can also, of course, always ask your stockist. If you have a favourite stockist and you want to get them from there, then have a chat with them and say, oi, Jamie's told me about these bargains. Are you having them? Can you get them? Because they may well be able to order them in for you. But if not, Hobby Maker do still have quite a few of these available on their website. And if you'd like to find this, and I'm going to come back to you for a sec, if you want to find this, pop onto the TV guide at the top of the page, go back to Saturday's shows, scroll down to 9 PM and click Watch Show. And it will open up and you'll have me waffling on again at the top, which you might want to put on mute, I wouldn't blame you. And then underneath you have got all of the products we're talking about. Now some of these are already sold out. Did we remove the ones that are sold out? Or did you leave them in to tease them?
A couple might be returning to Hobby Maker, but...
okay, so if they're there, it's still a good time to go and grab them.
Some stockists
and again,
still
have a look at your stockists. So we're trying to be fair and kind of give you an overview of everything. But £2 is all you're looking for these. These ones on the screen at the moment, these are stamp and die sets. So by that I mean you have got one large sentiment die, you've got 2 dies to cut out the stamped elements, and then you've got a sheet of clear stamps that coordinate with that stamp. Now I don't know why we're looking at the sympathy, I have flashbacks from the sympathy. So let's look at the beautiful one for a second. You've got beautiful, you've got your bar, and then you've got you have a, in every way, inside and out, have a, day, heart, and your, for you to be able to build up. Now one thing I would really stress is the more of these you collect, the more you're going to be able to build up into sentiments, backgrounds, etc. because of the more words in the same fonts and the same styles you're going to be able to get. So for instance over here with Fabulous, you look is the same font as inside and out, heart and day that comes with beautiful, and of course you could use you look beautiful. And this is what I mean about you being able to build up bigger collections with them if that's something you would like to do. And at £2 each, that's pocket money prices, isn't it? Really, to be able to grab hold of them and build a basket and build a collection quite easily. So there's more at £2. We have got Greetings of the Seasons. We have our coffin. Do you like the filler this time? There was a filler between the two. We also have, is this one really £2? Is this not a £3 one? Have you put them in the wrong pile?
Slim possibility.
Oh, Pete, don't do this to us.
I think it is too.
Do you? And this, really?
Yes.
Really, really. Okay, so we'll go with him. Don't yell at me if I've got them wrong. We're going to yell at Pete. This, if they're not two, and if Pete is a little bit on a different planet today. We've had a very long few days. I won't lie to you. I don't like to admit it, but we are lagging a little bit. So if we put them in the wrong pile, I truly apologise. But every sale die we're going to share with you this evening will either be £2, £3 or £4. So if we tell you the wrong price, full apologies, but it won't be a million miles off, will it? £2, £3 or £4. We can't be too far wrong. It's definitely 2. That's bonkers. That's silly. That really is silly. But this one, 4 dies in there, heart scallop border. As I say, £2, that's silly. That's 50p an element. That I can't even, we're not even going to talk about that anymore. It's silly. Elegant poinsettia, 8 dies in that one. That's 25p a die. That's silly. Merry and Bright, 6 dies for your £2. Delicate Butterfly, 4 dies for £2. Warm Winter Wishes, 6 dies for £2. Live the life you have imagined dream. I love these. And then you've got the strength version as well. Again, just £2. And then we've got Best Wishes, giving you different kind of strips that you can build up. Then we've got You Are Special. We have got a message in a bottle, which I absolutely love, sending good wishes your way. We have what we're going to call potion bottles, but apparently I was told poison, so we better call them what they're meant to be, which is poison bottles. But again, in this one, 9 dies, giving you all sorts of bottles. I love these because, yes, they're Halloweeny, but actually very message in a bottle, very shipwreck, very, very fun, very scientific. I know somebody who's got a very nutty Professor Norman stamp that would go perfectly with these as one of our examples we'll share with you. And then lastly, and I know that this one possibly is currently shown as sold out on Hobby Maker, is our alphabet die, which is the lowercase and numbers Art Deco alphabet set. Again, a proper bargain one, that one. So have a look at those ones. If you would like to know anything more about them, just shout in the comments and we will flick through them. But I do have a couple of samples to share with you. Maybe, I don't know actually, have I? What's going on here, Peter? I've left it, that can't be right because are we off to the next price here?
I think you've strayed.
I haven't strayed, but I have had some sort of jumping piles. I'll show you these while we go through them. So with our coffin set, these are well out. I don't know, Pete. I've trusted you to set these up and it's all gone wrong. I'm blaming you completely. I'm not really. It doesn't matter. We'll have a flick through them as we go. But there are lots and lots of samples here to give you an idea of what you could be creating with that set, as well as a few of the other Halloween dies and elements that are available from Creative Expressions too, just to give you a little glimpse at what's available there. Let's flick on to our next sample set. Now let's have a look at this one. So this will give you an idea of our stamp and die sets. So this is exactly what we're on about having the die and then having the stamped element to coordinate with them. So again, die cut with matching stamped element to be cut out, all coordinating throughout. And then let's have a little look at these. These are lovely. These are our circle sentiments. So just a bit of a glimpse at this. This is our strength circle sentiment. Die cut, of course, layered. And this is beautiful. The way Sarah's done this, where she's actually glittered around that element and then cut the strength out and layered that on top out of black card and embossed it with clear embossing powder to give a glossy finish. And then this one, the dream sentiment, Sarah's come in and she's trimmed it and used that top part to go across the side of a larger circle and then added the dream into the middle, which I thought looked really, really pretty. That butterfly, here's one I've done where I've used that pierced element butterfly as a freestanding butterfly on the edge here of our oval. And that, of course, comes up to give a bit of depth. On this one, using the same dies, I've actually used it to cut in and sit inside a frame. And then this part in here, the pierced element, because of the pierced piece has a separate outside edge, I've just cut it into my piece of card and placed that frame over the top of it, so it kind of gives a bit of a different look to it. Now, have we got any more samples from the £2 ones to share with you? Oh, these are lovely. This is that lovely border that we looked at. So that border set, this is gorgeous, created by Sue, and you're going to see this oval come up shortly as well. But doesn't it show how well and versatile that border is, depending on whether here you wish to leave the pieces in. On this one, Sue's chose to cut it out with the outside edge, so it comes away actually as a panel, and she's cut it 4 times into one square, but using that outside edge so it becomes like one giant lacy heart square, very effective. And then here, using the top and bottom to the heart element, and actually cutting it out and making it as a strip across the background of the card in red and black. And then here, not hearty or lovey at all, but very, very Christmassy. Instead of using the heart elements, just using that kind of Moroccan-y, Aztec-y kind of border element, which I really, really like. And just using these pieces instead of actually taking off all of the other bits and bobs too, which is a really lovely way to show you just how one die set can actually give you 4 completely different effects depending on just which edges you do and don't use from it. I don't know, if I wasn't a crafter and I didn't know of this die set, would I believe that all of those come from one set? I don't think I would. I think I would feel that that had to be many sets to achieve that effect, not out of one. Especially when we look at this square with that running all the way around the edge of it, I would never have guessed that that come from one set that's at such a silly price. That looks like that's a big nesting die that's going to set me back sort of £30-ish. Okay, let's move on to our next price point, because I said we weren't going to linger on these for long, and I just wanted to give you an overview so you don't miss out, to be honest with you, because as I said earlier, we do like to make sure if we've got a bargain, you guys know about it. So these are now our £3 collection, and you've got Greetings, Believe, Happy and Christmas. And with each of these, every one of them again has stamps to go with them. So we've got big die cut element with outside edge with our main focal word. We then have nested tabs to put our stamps onto. This is silly for £3. Genuinely, you would pay more than that for these little tabs and that set of stamps normally. So to actually be getting this bit for free is bonkers, because a die like that should easily be £15–16 on its own, given the size of it, if you compare it in the size to my hand, for instance. These again are great because it's like here, you could have Happy and Christmas running for a multifold card quite easily, or you could have Christmas and Greetings, for instance. But they do of course come with tabs or sentiments, sorry, on stamps, which will give you some different directions to take them off on. So with a Happy one, for instance, you've got anniversary, birthday, dreams, Christmas, wish big and Thanksgiving. So really sort of covering quite a few bits. And like this one, our actual tabs that we're going to cut out as well to go with it. This time we've got that kind of flag style instead of just the rectangles. So again, you might wish to use these words with those tabs, and again create more of a library and build up more of a styles with them. And actually, if you look at those, you could get all 4 of them for £12, which is less than the recommended retail price of 1. That's the level of savings we're talking about here. One of these, if I remember rightly, as in each one, I think the recommended retail price by memory is £19.99. So you're getting approximately £80 worth of product for 12. That's silly. Okay, just quick flick through for some of these now. So there's another one, the more candles, the bigger the wish. Then we've got our Christmas lights, we have got our shaped watering can die, we have got our birthday balloons, we have got our draped jeweled border. Then we've got if friends were flowers, I'd pick you, just because you are so special, lattice snowflake, bauble diamonds, and Christmas cottage. Now these again, this is £3. These are just silly prices. This die here is approximately just shy of, let's say, 15 centimetres by 15 centimetres. It is huge and it's £3. That's silly. And this one, again, absolutely beautiful. All of this pierced detailing is stunning when you look at what you can create with that. And there is also a couple of others in the £3 category, including this one, which is our Christmas roses, which again matches perfectly with that set. So yeah, check those out if you want to grab a bargain. Maybe you've got some crafty friends you want to buy gifts for this year. Maybe Santa's asked you what you would like this Christmas and you're thinking, actually, I could really get some impressive presents to open under the tree this year by actually really being wise about what I'm asking for, because of, let's say, a family members give you a £10 budget, a £20 budget, a £30 budget. Imagine a £30 budget, that's 10 dies. That's an astronomical amount of these that you could be adding and opening once Santa's delivered them, and it would really be quite the start to next year's crafting, wouldn't it? Whether you go for the Christmas versions or the everyday ones, or maybe you're forward thinking to some of those kind of love and romance ones we're going to look through as well. So they're your £3 ones. Moving on, lastly, we have our £4 ones. Now we're going to start off with this one, and I'm going to find the samples for this because I couldn't find them before we went to the show the other day. I just could not find them. I know I'd seen them, but do you think I could find them? Oh no, I couldn't. And I want to share these with you because if you've looked at this die set, I don't know, what am I going to do with that? Look at this card. Isn't that absolutely adorable? I'm in love with this card. I just thought it's so cute. Now, yes, a couple of other dies have been used to add on embellishments. You will have to have a look for those. They are available. They're still available right now. But your house is the main foundation to this. And that builds up to create the most impressive scene. I think it's just amazing. Even through the windows, we have a cat in one window and a dog in the other that is actually on the stepper plate to go underneath it. It just works so beautifully. And to think that you would be able to get the foundation to create this element with for just £4 is silly. But I have another sample for you. Maybe shaped cards are not your cup of tea and you're thinking, well, can I use this for a card? Of course you can. And not only can you use it on a card, which is a new phrase I've just coined, you can actually, like Sarah has here, she's taken their main house and she's added an extension. How cute is that? Literally by just cutting away that part at the top and dropping the roof down we've moved on to having an extension to go with our building. And doesn't that work so well? Add in some trees, add in some foliage, add in some flowers, and you have got an absolutely stunning focal for your cards. And you could dress this up for all different seasons. Add some Christmasness to it, add an Easter bonnet, add an Easter wreath. You could add all sorts to it. Maybe not an Easter bonnet, that wouldn't make a lot of sense. Big hat stuck on the top of a house might not work well, but you know what I mean. You could add some Easter eggs sat on the porch, maybe as if the bunny's just been. Maybe you want to add an Easter bunny into it. I don't know. I just feel this is a house set that could come in and be dressed up all throughout the year for all the different occasions. So moving on from our house, there's a few more £4 ones to just have a look at. There is the floral bouquet. This is an incredible set. 20 flowers within this set. So 20 elements for £4. What does that make them an element, Peter?
Oh, now we're being tested, aren't we?
What is that?
20 pence?
5p per pound, 20p. So that would make that 20p a die. That's silly.
Bargain.
That's really, really, really silly, isn't it? 20 pence an element in that set to be able to build up all of your floral bouquets. And these pieces, if you've not seen these before, these are designed that you can attach that to your card and then place your flower on it, whether you have them as wobblers or whether you use them to give height to your kind of stems, if you will, to put these into something like that shaped water can die or build up displays with them. It's going to work for you in either direction. These are also really good for lots of other things too. Maybe you've got a sleigh and reindeer that you want to dangle over the top of a Christmas village. Having that cut from acetate to be your little boinger would work really nicely. Then we've got a couple of slimline dies. These are a bargain. Cut corner rectangles and inner scalloped rectangles. They're so big they don't even fit on the screen, and they are £4 each per set. They are silly, silly, silly money. A nesting die that big for £4, that's silly. I know I say that a lot, but it is silly, isn't it? Where else could you get a nesting die with the Creative Expressions quality, that ability to cut, as we know, the amazing designs from Sue for £4? That's just silly. Then we move on and we have got the poinsettia scalloped borders. Now again, this is called poinsettia, so you think Christmas. Look at this bit. There is nothing there that is Christmassy. It's a lattice with a scallop, and it's up to you which parts of that you use. And you would pay more than £4 for this part on its own, way more than £4. But actually with it, you've got this beautiful poinsettia set too. So two very big focal elements in that one. That's kind of making it £2 for the scallop set and £2 for the flower set. That's silly. Then we've got our last one that I'm going to share with you, our Wings of Wonder collection butterfly trellis panel. And that one again is a creator card set really. It's kind of designed by me to give you lots of options, whether you build it into boxes, whether you cut the tabs off and use it as a gatefold element, whether you construct with it, whether you shape it round and use them tabs to tuck underneath so you've got a domed panel, or whether you actually cut all of the tabs off and just have it as a really cool filigree panel. The choice is yours, but there's 7 dies in there for only £4. Now, all of those that we just spoke about are once again available on the Hobby Maker website as part of our Black Friday sale. Now, I know you might have seen the show on Saturday night at 9 p.m. If you didn't, it was quite a funny show. It was a lovely show. You might want to watch it back. We go through lots more samples. We tell you lots more about all of the dies. I had an hour to fill with just telling you about them. So you might want to go and have a little look at that if you haven't already seen it. But if you want to cash in and save big on those items, pop onto the Hobby Maker website, go to the TV section, go back to Saturday night show at 9 p.m, hit watch show, and it will open up and all of those products are listed below for you to be able to go ahead and buy them. I will set Pete the challenge of sharing a link to that show in the comments. If he doesn't manage it, because we're not the very best for technology, let alone when we're live, I'll do it once the live has ended. But if somebody else out there is a bit more tech savvy than me and Pete at the moment and would like to share a link to it, then please feel free. Once again, it would be amiss of me not to mention that a lot of these dies are available from our stockists as well, and you might find them at the same price or similar. So do have a little bit of a dig, and do, as always, support your favourite stockist. If you have a favourite stockist, we would love for you to support them, because without your support, stockists don't stay, and we need our stockists to stay. I am just going to share these with you quickly, if that's okay, actually. I'd forgot about these samples, and I would just like to show you, because I think this is one of those dies that sometimes we look at them and we're not too sure what we're going to do with them. But actually, when we see these paper pieces, when we see these layered with colours, when we see them cut from different colours, when we see our backgrounds coming in, our stamps coming in, our different colours of card coming in, suddenly these really come to life and we can really see that we could explore so many different possibilities with them. And actually, to me, that's what this whole live is about. Whenever we're live with you, it's to give you inspiration and to give you ideas and to help inspire your crafting, whether we're talking about bargains, whether we're talking about brand new goodies, whether we're just talking about techniques. It's our job to make sure you have ideas and inspiration. And this might be that you look at that colour scheme or that idea, think, well, actually, I've already got a die I could do that with, or actually, I might just do that with something else. But actually, if not, and you fall in love with these dies, then it's nice that you know that you can get them with that saving we've mentioned, and it'll hopefully show you other ways in which you can be building them up. Okay, how are we going with a link over there on the left? You've gone quiet.
I'm trying to race to see if I can get it on there first.
Can somebody beat Pete?
Wait.
Challenge Pete here, I like this. Challenge Pete to the link. I like that a lot. Have we had any questions while I've been waffling endlessly about our lovely sale dies?
Oh, Kim,
now
you beat
I am
me
asking
to
you
it.
to a lot, aren't I?
Kim, we'll have words.
Thank you, Kim.
Kim's coming down next week.
Is she coming down next
I
week,
think
is she?
she's coming to the demo day. I don't know, I'm
Is
guessing
she?
she might be coming to the demo day.
So
Kim,
you're guessing. You
Well, she
don't
said
know, but you're guessing.
She said I'm coming down next week, so I'm guessing your demo day next week.
I'm a little bit worried that people keep saying I'm going to come down next week to the demo.
I know.
Is it that close?
It is. It is, it is.
I'm going to hide. I don't feel ready for a demo. Don't feel ready for anything. You've broke me, Peter. You've broke me.
I have.
I don't know if I'm ready for this. That'll be lovely. It'll be a lovely day. I'm very much looking forward to our demo day because it means I get to sit on the table all day and just play with our brand new crafty concoctions. Pretty much all I'm going to do is just play with them because I want to just play with them and show you what we can do with them because there's so much we can do with them, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun kind of exploring and playing and seeing what ideas we can come up with together. And this is what our demo days are kind of about. It's not just whenever they are, whatever stock is they're in. Gwen's brilliant. It's about getting to meet you, talk to you, and then gel and come up with ideas together. I don't think me or Gwen or any of our team go, oh, we know everything. You know, we're just here to teach you. You teach us as much as we teach you, whether that's on the lives, at demo days, through the shows, whatever it may be. It's a two-way street. You're only as quick as your own ideas, aren't you? So when we can share our ideas with other people, and again, two-way street, it kind of helps us all, doesn't it? It inspires each other, and that's what it's about. So yeah, can't wait for the demo day. Okay, any other questions before we move on, Peter?
I missed Kim's message. A question. The cards. I think she means the house dies.
Oh yeah.
She said, "Are they Sarah Rosamond cards?"
They are Sarah Rosamond cards.
Yeah, beautiful.
They are. Yeah, they are Sarah. Sarah sadly passed away. I'm going to say last year now. I'm terrible with time.
I think it was
last year, the year before.
Mm.
I think it might have been the year before, actually.
Yeah,
you know,
incredibly
I'm terrible
talented,
with time,
wasn't she?
but she's so talented, so ridiculously talented. And to actually be able to once again share cards with you guys made by Sarah is lovely. It's why I mentioned her name, because to me her talent lives on. Her talent, her cards, her creations. It's just a joy to be able to share her work with you guys again. And when we're talking sale dies, they're ones that have been out a little while. So we've got those incredible examples to share with you. And it's just from us and our team, it's lovely to be able to kind of dig them out and share them with you again. Okay, shall we make a card? Shall we have a little play? Shall we see what we can get up to? So I know in my world, and we go back to me being terrible with time, I'm well behind for Christmas. Might be the 1st of December. But to me, it could be the 1st of May. I've got no idea how we're going to get Christmas ready in 24 days. It's not going to happen. I think I need my own, very own team of elves and possibly a few witches and things or magicians to slow down time. So if you're like me and you're a little bit behind, I thought it might be nice to have a bit of inspiration on a Christmas card that you could be creating just in case you're still working on them. So I thought I would dig out with elves in mind. One of my favourites that I created with our kaleidoscope collection. And I'm going to tell you what I've used as well, just in case this is something you are still working on. So I've dug out a Christmas kaleidoscope set. This, of course, is one of our Jamie Rogers Crafts dies. Millions of ways in which we can use these. So much fun to work with the kaleidoscopes. And if you're already sitting there thinking, well, I've done my Christmas, I don't need to know about Christmas, we do an everyday version in the circle as well, and we do a musical version in an octagon, and they all work in a similar way. We're also going to be digging into Mrs. Christmas and Elves stamp and die set. Now, of course, we are focusing very much this evening on our cheeky little elves down here, but it is good to know that Mrs. Christmas, those tags, those presents, and those sentiments also come within this set. I can't remember recommended retail prices, but I am going to be able to tell you that this one should be $19.99, and it comes with a DL set of stamps and the dies to coordinate and cut them out. Peter will have to jump in here and tell us how much the kaleidoscope is, because I've got a memory like a fish. I think Peter's fell asleep.
I'm hunting.
There was no response. Did you hear that? Did you hear that little tumbleweed run through our studio?
I'm on another mission.
Through it went as silence come over us. Okay, so with our kaleidoscope set, now these are really good fun if you've not seen them before. Basically in here we receive 8 outside triangles and 8 insert panels. And you can use them independently or you can use them together. They come with matching stencils as well, and the stencils are great because you can actually stencil over these sections, and you can use the stencils as a positioning guide to help you measure out where they are, if you prefer. Now, many of you will know this, but it would be amiss of me not to mention it. Our dies were originally silver. They have now gone to our Creative Expressions copper. There is no difference between them. Just as we move forward and we replenish dies, even if they are a little bit older, you will notice that they will be coming to you in copper, not in silver. They cut exactly the same. They are the same die. They come from the same factory. They're the same metal. They're cut and made in the same way. They are literally just spray painted at the end of the production line to be our copper colour instead of being left as silver. Being completely transparent with you, it actually costs us more money, but we've swallowed that and we've not passed it on, just so we can keep us as a brand all united in our copper colour. So whether they are woodware dies, whether they are Creative Expressions dies, whether they are Jamie Rogers Crafts dies, or anything else that we get up to in the future, they will come to you in this copper format. So don't be alarmed if you'll receive them in copper or in silver. Same dies, same idea, same release, but it's just us changing up what we're doing to try and make it more uniform across the board. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our section and we're going to take a self-adhesive sheet and a piece of card, and we're going to stick the self-adhesive sheet to the card and we're going to cut it out to make our first triangle. For our second triangle, we're going to use one of our shapes, and I've gone for the snowflake one inside the outside edge, and I'm going to cut that out so I have a delicate triangle to be working with. By delicate, I mean it's got all these fussy bits cut into it, ready for us to do a bit more with it. Now I am just going to poke out a couple of pieces that have been left in this one. This is what happens when we prep at speed. Let me just get rid of these. There you go, they're all cut perfectly, but I don't want those in place, so we're going to remove them. Oh, there's one still there. Come on, how you come. There we go. So we've now got our die cut snowflake piece from Silver Mirror card and our panel with our self-adhesive sheet on. And we're going to remove the top of the self-adhesive sheet. We're going to flip this section over and we're going to marry the two together. Now, because I'm working on a self-adhesive, no I'm not, I'm working on a non-stick sheet, self-adhesive, that'd be a mess. Because we're working on a non-stick sheet, I can turn it over this way, give it a good push and not fear that the sticky bit is going to stick down to my craft mat. This again is one of our Creative Expressions products, and actually the more I work with them, the more and more I fall in love with them, because it really is a benefit to not have to worry about anything sticking to your counters and being able to work on them with all of your different mediums with no fear that they're going to kind of absorb in or damage your tops. So we're now going to bring this in, and where we've stuck our silver mirror cut over the top of our self-adhesive sheet, what we're left with is stickiness within those holes. So we're going to go to our gemstones glitters for this one, and we're going to pick out our amethyst. And we're going to take this and we're going to sprinkle it all the way over the top of our section. Because isn't that gorgeous? Amethyst and silver is such a lovely combo, isn't it? So we're going to sprinkle this over and we're going to burnish it down with our finger to make sure that goes into all of the openings all the way throughout. I'm going to give that a good firm rub. And make sure that that glitter really goes down onto the self-adhesive sheet. Now, of course, our brand new Atomics glitters would work perfectly with this too. So maybe you'd prefer more of a multicolour sparkle coming through from under this one. That would work well too. And if you haven't seen the Atomics glitters yet, let's give you just a little tease of these. So maybe you want to go for one of our colour change Atomics glitters and add those over instead. These ones have got multi-size shards of glitter in them, and they colour change. It's 4 colour change ones and 6 kind of pastel colours actually, which is really designed to take you through the whole year. And it's funny, I never mentioned that on the shows the other day, but it really is designed that instead of, because I think sometimes, and we're all guilty of this, we kind of pigeonhole glitter into being a Christmas product or only designed for our Christmas creations. And actually with our Atomics glitters, it was really important to me that we bought you glitter that could be used all throughout the year. So there are some really beautiful pastel shades. I'm going to bring you back to this shot because you can see them here. But there's lovely light oranges, light blues, pinks, lilacs. This one, which reminds me, I don't know why, but of a koi fish. It's kind of got these really lovely like lime greeny bits and pinky bits and clear bits. I don't know why it reminds me of koi fish. I've got no idea. It's not that I'm an avid fish lover, so I don't know where that's come from at all. But it does give me a koi fish vibe. But there are 10 colours. As I say, you can see the colour change ones, can't you? 1, 2, 3 and 4 running through there. And then the rest of them are just really beautifully sparkly ones. But it's certainly a colour palette that's going to take you through the whole year. So back to our section. We now have that amethyst glitter put through our panel. We would repeat that multiple times so that we have lots of sections that we can bring together. Now there is a stencil I mentioned that you can use to spread these out if you prefer, so they can have a little bit of a gap between them. You can of course do it by eye if you prefer, but for my panel I'm going to build these up so there is no real gap between them. I don't mind a little gap, but I'm just trying to aim to keep them side by side. So we're going to bring in the next section and we're going to place that together. And then we're going to bring in our last section, and these are on 1mm foam tape. We're going to bring in our last one and we're going to place that inside here. Now the other thing to mention with these is they make really cool Christmas trees. So if you turn it that way up and add a little stem underneath it, not stem, what do I mean? Trunk, that's the word. We're talking Christmas trees, not flowers. If you add a little trunk underneath it, it makes a really cool modern Christmas tree. And because they're symmetrical shapes, we don't need this one now, but because of their symmetrical shapes, we can quite easily fold them. And you do this with a bone folder and a scoreboard. Don't do it how I'm doing it, but it gives you an idea. But you can actually take them and start layering them one on top of the other. And again, because of their symmetrical, you can actually stick them back to back. So if you're worried that on this side it's white, and you wouldn't do it this way obviously, but you can literally marry that up so you could have them as double-sided. So when they're sitting there that side, you don't have to worry about any white shining through from underneath them if you prefer. And just because of being double-sided opens up so many different techniques as well. You might wish to fold them, stick them together, do them back to back and turn them into more of like a rosette styling as well. And then turn them into like hanging decorations for a Christmas tree. You could even do that in this format and stick them back to back and actually make them like little 3D hanging Christmas trees if you wanted to. It's one of them things, it's a funny shape, but it's a shape that can work in so many different ways if you would like it to. We're then going to bring in one of our circles. So on this panel, in the background, you're going to spot that we've used our postage circles from our nesting set. And we're going to bring in another postage circle. And this one, I've just embossed it with our snow stencil. So I've sent it through from white card with our snow stencil on top to emboss that texture onto it, to give us a point of difference to this and just a little bit more of a Christmassy vibe to it as well, because I thought that was kind of important. Now I don't know if I've bought in my cheeky little elves actually. I thought I bought them in, but I don't know if I have. Let me have a little dig for a second, because I was sure those little monsters come in with me this evening. Let's have a little see and see if I can find them in here. I'm not convinced I have. Okay. Well, on our next demo, or one of our upcoming demos if we get a chance, we're going to use some other stamp and die sets. So let's dig in and show you this one, because it will give you a glimpse as to what I mean. That's if I can find my stamp. Oh, here it is. When I got in this room this evening, I had 3 stamp presses, and I said to Pete, no wonder I didn't have one in my telly box the other day. Can you please put this in my telly box? And I've sent it out, and then I couldn't find the ones that I'd kept in here. What am I like, eh? Honestly. So let's find a piece of card to work this onto. So we're going to bring in Pebble the Bear, which works in the same way as which our elves do. So you've got stamps and dies that coordinate. So we're going to bring in Pebble, and we're going to find an ink pad to stamp on Pebble. Oh, that don't sound good, does it? Poor Pebble. We'll use a Distress Oxide for this one, because I really like these little Pebble bears in some nice browns. So we'll bring in Gathered Twigs, and we'll stamp him out. Isn't that gorgeous? I love Pebble. I know I sound bonkers, but I love Pebble. I think he's such a lovely one. And then actually, and we're going off on a tangent now, aren't we? Because we're not meant to be doing this at all. But I really want to see what this looks like, because I think if we was to bring in some more oxide ink, and we're going to mist over the top of Pebble, because we've stamped in oxide, I think that's going to bleed out a little bit. And we're going to see how that looks. And we're going to find a paintbrush from in here, and we're going to mix this red up, which is, was that Festive Berries I chose for this? It was Festive Berries. And we're going to go in and we're going to paint on his heart as well. I say his heart. Why I'm doing this, Pete? Have you had any questions?
No, I don't think so. Your price-wise, yeah, Tracy's answered. But yeah, Kaleidoscopes, 2 of them are $28.99. Christmas and the original one.
Thank you, Tracy.
And the Octagon one was slightly smaller, wasn't it? That was $21.99.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's
So,
good.
yeah.
Did she beat you to that?
She did.
Oh, Pete, honestly. Poor Tracy in our office. She's absolutely full of cold. Still come in today, still working like a trooper this evening, joining us on our live, and still beating Pete, finding the answers.
And treating us to advent calendars.
She treated us to advent calendars, yeah. Treated us to
Lovely.
lovely advent calendars. I was going to share a photo tomorrow, but we'll talk about it while I'm painting in Pebble. Tracy's bought us a Lego advent calendar for the office. One of 3 advent calendars, multiple advent calendars that she's treated me and Pete to this year. Honestly, we're so spoiled. It's such an amazing place to work. We really are so well looked after. It's ridiculous. But one of the ones she's bought us is a Lego one, and behind every window you get a little Lego kit to build. And I haven't said this to Pete. Did you read the message I put up on the group chat, Pete?
No.
I think what we ought to do is, because we haven't opened today's yet, I think that we ought to wait 3 days, and then we could all open them, and we could have a little battle to see who can build their Lego set the quickest.
You've given this a lot of thought.
I did. I asked Tracy. She agreed. She said this was a good idea. So we're already 2 in. I don't know whether you're joining in with this or not, but I'm sure you will, because you like Lego probably. Well, actually, Tracy loves Lego, doesn't she? But I have a feeling you might have met your match with Tracy, and we might have to have a bit of a Lego battle session to see who can build their kit the quickest. I'm no good at Lego, so I don't think I will.
We'll give it a go.
Well, we could even record it. We could share this with the world. Would you all like to see who can win Lego battles in the Creative Expressions HQ? Because if so, let us know and I'll get it filmed and shared with you. Especially if I win. If I don't win, it might not appear. Tracy wins, it can appear. But, you know, we can't let hostage Pete get too carried away. So I don't really know why I'm painting this in, because we don't really need this. But it is nice to see Pebble come to life. I might leave it in a second, because you don't, and I often say this, I don't colour very well. Francoise is watching, she's probably like, what has he done to that bear? Honestly. Leave him alone for 2 minutes and it'll attack some poor little character with colour. But Pebble is actually quite cute, and I really like it where the ink's coming out. It kind of gives it a more vintage vibe. You don't have to mist it if you don't want to. And you could really build up. I should have done a little red in the ears. I don't even know why we're doing this. We don't even need this poor little Pebble. But we are going to save him, and we'll come back to him on another project at a later date, I'm sure. Which actually, while we're chatting, and I'm doing something I'm not meant to be doing, let's talk about how you're going to win the cards that we make this evening, because while I'm painting, I can still waffle. So this evening's question, oh, this is kind of relevant actually. It's something we might have coming up in the next few days, but that's a bit of a tease. But we're going to ask you anyway. What do you put on the top of your Christmas tree? This is our question of the evening to win tonight's cards. All you have to let us know, if you would like to win what we're making, is let us know, what do you put on the top of your tree? Is it an angel? Is it a snowflake? Is it a star? Is it something else random? I would like to know. We would like to know. We are nosy. You know this. We tell you this every week. What goes on the top of your tree? And if you let us know, Pete will pick one winner to be chosen at random this evening to win whatever we create. Maybe not Pebble though, because we're not going to do anything with Pebble. We're just going to mist him and let him kind of have that little vintage feel come out from him. I would say bleed, but that doesn't sound very nice, does it, when we're chatting about a bear? On your screen, he looks as if his nose is a bit light, so we might add in a bit more colour in there. I'd let that dry and I'd go back to it and see if I could build it up. I'm not the best colourist, I tell you this every week. I'm really, truly not. But when I'm happy with that, I would bring in the matching dye and I would put the dye over the top of it. He says as he goes desperately to find the matching dye, because we went for Pebble because we was going to find the matching dye, didn't we? Now I'm not convinced I've got Pebble's dye either. Oh, Peter, it's all going wrong. I've got Pebble's dye, not the right Pebble's dye though. Maybe it's still going wrong. Have I got Pebble's dye? I might have Pebble's dye. I've got Pebble's dye. So there is our matching dye we would place over the top, send that through and cut that out, which is what we've done with our elves. It's a big arc, this one tonight, isn't it? Gone round the houses, through the car park and back to the door. But we would then send that through once dry, because we've just splattered that one, so maybe not that one while it's wet. But we would let that be dry, we would send that through, and then we would end up with our cheeky little elves, which actually look nothing like what we just did. But you've hopefully got the idea. Cut, stamped, coloured. Now with these ones I did add a little bit of glue to the top of them and added some of our diamond white glitter to the top where the sort of fur elements would be on their hats, just to give a bit of Christmas sparkle. We would then bring these in and pop them on top of our circle. So we'll go back to where we were, we'll remove the foam tape off of the back of them, and because these are cheeky little elves, we're going to put them kind of dancing. Let's give them a bit of a wiggle. And I really like these two because it looks as if he's got a little present for his little friend. In my head, that was what I was thinking. Then we'll go on to our card, and already on the inside of the card I've added some of our purple mirror card, our silver mirror card and our white mirror card, and we're going to do exactly the same for this one on the front. Have we had any strange answers yet to what goes on the top of their Christmas trees, Peter?
A lovely glue lady, Alison.
Good evening, Alison.
Evening, Alison. Such a bit of fairy washing up liquid bottle on the top.
What?
David's silly idea last year.
What?
I think we need pictures.
I think we need an explanation.
We do. Where
Not
did
to
the fairy
judge,
liquid
there is
bottle come
no
from?
judgment. But why? Please,
Lots of-
Alison. Why?
Lots of angels and stars.
Angels, stars, fairy washing up liquid. I don't know.
Tracy, a Grinch hat.
A Grinch hat. See, this works. This works. At Highlight, they've or liveshopping.vip, I see earlier, they've put a teddy bear on the top of theirs, and they've got a rainbow coloured Christmas tree, which was very, very impressive. And they've put a little green, like, they called them a squishy. Is a squishy a brand or just a new name for a teddy?
Well, there's Squishmallows, there's lots of different versions.
Well, it was a squishy, I believe it said, and I thought it looked very, very cute atop the tree. And that was kind of where the idea come from, to ask you, well, what do you put on the top of your trees?
Sue's currently putting up a tree while she's watching us.
Are you? How lovely. How nice to be able to
isn't it?
join you while you're getting in the festive mood. That was our first card created using our elves, Mrs. Christmas, and of course our Christmas kaleidoscope set. Should we see if we can fit in another one before we let these lovely people have the rest of their evening?
Yeah,
And,
sounds good.
wait there.
Quick question from Jackie. I've seen Jackie a few times. Even Jackie, she's
All
new
right.
to the group.
Keeping an eye out, aren't we?
Oh, I
Stalker
see Jackie
Pete in
pop
hostage
up.
corner. Good evening, Jackie.
She's seen people use your textured fabric paper. Any chance you can explain how that differs to other card, please? That's probably the linen texture paper.
How
How it
Sorry.
varies compared to other card.
Has she used it or seen it?
She's seen people using it.
Oh, okay, brilliant. Thank you. Sorry, Pete, I misunderstood. So our textured paper, this is lovely, Jackie. I get a bit carried away with these. It is lovely, isn't it? So our textured paper, and I'm going to try and remember now, I think this comes in 8 different colours. It is, you know, there's not a million miles of difference between a textured paper and a textured card in the sense of what you can do with either of them, really. Obviously, if it's a card, then you can use it as the base to your card blank, depending on the GSM of it. So you might wish to literally fold it and have it as your card blank if that's where you want to go with it. With a paper, obviously one of the bonuses can be, depending on what you're doing, that it's finer, so you can actually fold it. So maybe you want to do tea bag folding, maybe you want to make rosettes, maybe you want to make fans with it, maybe you want to make up rippled backgrounds, maybe you want to score it. Because we're talking paper, we're talking a lighter GSM, so you've got the ability to do that with it. I know Diane on our DT absolutely loves working with this because she can put a lot more layers of this onto a card without the card becoming too heavy. So possibly it's something along those lines that you're looking at. For me personally, it's the texture and the depth that we could achieve with paper versus card. I don't know how well you're going to see this on screen. It's always very tricky to try and get it across on an actual screen. But the depth to this is ridiculous. For what is a patterned paper, it's not a 3D paper, it's not a embossing folder paper. This is a sheet of paper, but it's hard to convey. Can you hear that? The texture and depth that is created on this. And that's really actually kind of fun because, yeah, there are different products that you may be able to create it, but actually to have it direct out of the box is lovely. I'm trying to see if I can find my waxes and I can't, so I'm going to go in instead with an ink. But having that depth can be really good because it means that we can go over the top. And I don't know, that might be a bit light. Let's see if we can go for a darker colour ink. Let me dig back into my box and see what I've got. It means that we can go over the top and highlight the different layers. So I'm doing mine with ink, you might wish to do yours with waxes, and you can be as heavy or as light as you want to be, but you're going to get that texture come through from underneath it. And that's something I really love with this, because normally with papers, even textured cards, in my experience, they're not as embossed or debossed as this is. So actually being able to highlight just the texture with ink and waxes opens up a whole new world too. Now, I hope that helps, but genuinely one thing I would urge you to do, and I know it's kind of the kind of thing we would say because it's our product, but truthfully, I would get one packet and see what you think of it, because I would be amiss to believe that you would not fall in love with this and actually go, do you know what, I want one of every colour. And I've seen that for our orders, that's what people have been doing. They've been building up their stashes between both the linen texture and the other one as well. And I say the other one because I forgot the name of it. Crushed velvet. Crushed velvet isn't as textured. When we go back to that texture, this isn't. You know, there's not as much depth to it, but instead there's more colour and tone within it instead. And what I love with these two is when we tear them, we have the same colour run through them, so that then you can do some really cool vintage effects. Again, maybe if we put that lovely green, if we are still working on Christmas, underneath it, maybe we ink that with some distress ink, but it's all going to match in and tone in perfectly for you. I hope that helps, Jackie, but I really would urge you to get one pack and give it a try and see if you fall in love with it as much as we have. And if any of our viewers are in the comments and would like to share what you've been creating with it and what your thoughts are to it, and this is so true. I was watching, I was in the studio the other day where Sarah was talking from Crafter's Companion about the different machines that they stock. And she was so right. She said, you know, it's my company and I own it, so I'm going to be biased, or you're going to believe I'm biased. But actually, Let's read the reviews to this product on Trustpilot. We don't have Trustpilot, we're not posh enough for Trustpilot. But you guys who are watching, you can be our reviewers this evening. What do you think to the textured papers we bring you? What have you been creating with them? Because it'd be really beneficial to us and Jackie for you to give your opinion right now. And actually, even if it's negative, even if you want to go, do you know what, Jamie? I don't like them. I've bought them and I haven't used them. That's absolutely fine too, because we all come at craft, we all come at creativity from different angles. So what one person loves, somebody else might not quite enjoy it as much. And we're here for that too.
Diane, evening Diane, lovely Diane.
Good evening, Diane.
She says because she uses a lot of wet glue, it doesn't show through it, so it's quite nice.
See, that's a good point. Yeah, it doesn't. Diane
point.
is very right. Do you know I hadn't even contemplated that? I'd just been very happy to work with it and not even thought about it, but she's right.
She is,
Yeah, it doesn't show through, which is kind of a lovely thing too. Any other questions before we move on?
Jackie just put another comment on just to say it was more people commenting on how good it makes stamped images look. She just didn't get how or why, but I could then picture myself anchoring in to get the woodware ones.
No, you do not have to move, Peter. Oh, have a look at this. This is a very good point, Jackie. I should have remembered to bring this in. Have a little look at this woodware. So this is one of our woodware stamps that I've stamped out and then I've coloured in with alcohol markers. And that actually is a really beautiful way to use this paper. You'll also see it used on the flowers too and on the foliage as well. But I'm trying to see if you can see it. When you stamp on it and colour it with alcohol markers, it really does give the illusion of kind of fabric, or as if it's been kind of cross-stitched to give a bit of a different depth to it. So as a stamper, and we go back, do you remember Pebble? I often say I can't colour, and I can't. I'm not lying. We all have different abilities, and I look at some of the DT, and what they create, and the way they colour, like Francoise, the way she colours, impeccable, incredible. I just don't have that talent, and you know what? That's fine. So what I do instead is I try to find ways to disguise my colouring and make it look slightly better. And I found, and you might disagree, you might look at these and think they're rubbish, but to me, the papers kind of distract the eye a bit. That texture coming into play, that style coming into play, the way the ink sits slightly differently on that paper also works really nicely. Now, the first sample I shared with you is the linen texture. This one is the crushed velvet, so less textured to it, but again, more tones coming through. So you kind of get a bit of a different look. Both of them, for the poinsettias and the ferns, these have been cut from, once again, the linen texture and formed in two different ways. One pinched and pointed up, one rounded with a bone folder to give you the two different styles of flowers. But again, both from those sheets. Now you can, of course, if you want to, because of the texture, and this might seem a bit of a faff and you might not want to, but because of that texture is so luxurious and so lovely, if you wanted, you can, of course, stick that onto a sheet of card so you still keep that texture but get more body to it and more strength to it. But even with my flowers, whether they've been pinched like these ones or rounded like these ones, I didn't need to. I've used them as paper, so they've still got that lovely texture and depth to them. And these cards have now been on display in here for the last month or so, maybe two, roughly. And those flowers still look as good as the day I made them, which is nice to see, because you might imagine with paper, they might lose a little bit of something over time, but I don't think that's happened with those ones.
Kim says that she's sure the DT used one for a fishing vest. It really looked like fabric. I think I remember that one.
Yes, the fishing dyes were brilliant. That was letterpressing with them, and that works really nicely. So again, yeah, have a look at that. Honestly, it's just, I don't know, I go back in a big circle, but I know we sound kind of biased. They are a really lovely product to work with, and they do work so nicely in so many different formats. It's hard to label them all in just kind of one answer. But yeah, I think you'll really enjoy working with them. I really do. The papers are beautiful. Any other questions, Pete?
No, I don't think so.
You sure? Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to go on to these. Now, actually, I'm going to be a bit naughty because I'm going to bring in something from Polka Doodles. Now, I have a feeling here at HQ, we are sold out of these. And now I'm going to put Pete back on the spot again. Do we know if they're going to be coming back in?
Yes, they are on order.
Oh, are they now?
They are indeed.
Very good, very good. So I'm going to use our stippling brushes or stencil brushes from Polka Doodles. and there are 5 in a set, and I'm going to use them with our metallic inks. Now, slightly wastefully, I'm going to work on a piece of black card because I want you to see what I'm doing. You, of course, could be working directly on your mat, and then you could mist it and pick it up and do all different bits with it. I'm going to try and keep this in one place because we might be able to use what goes through underneath it. So I'm even going to go to the extreme of taping down what we're going to be doing to see if that will stay in place. And while I'm doing this next bit, I'm going to send our dear challenge Annika off to see if he can find my, what do I want? My metallic waxes, please, from my room, if possible, please. So we're going to pick the ink up, we're going to work with Cactus Green, and we're going to stipple this with our blending brush over the green elements of this die cut. So I'm working with one of our DL panel dies, by the way. This is the Dragonflies DL panel. And I'm just going to cut this out of white card. It has 3 different pieces to it. You've got your main filigree panel, you've got your outside edge to trim it out, and then you've got your frame panel to go round it. We'll be using the frame shortly. I've left off the outside edge so that it cuts in and it stays in a piece of card, and I've then trimmed it on a guillotine. So if it looks slightly wonky, that's my trimming, because I knew that what I was going to be adding over the top of it meant that it didn't matter if it was slightly off, because of the frame on the top is going to disguise where I've gone to. Now you might wonder, why am I stippling with these instead of blending with them? And the reason is I kind of want a bit of a patchy look, and if I was to go in and blend all over this, we're A, going to end up with a more solid finish to it, and B, it might be a bit more tricky to avoid the elements that I don't want to get hold of and I don't want to colour. And it's also nice to show you how we can do different things with the tools that we possibly already have in our stash, and if not, might be looking to add to one day. Thank you, Pete. While I'm doing this, is there any other questions we can answer? I thought you'd left the room then. I had this, oh, gone over the wing. I had this awful moment there where I thought I was talking to myself.
No,
Oh,
good. No. Jackie's convinced she needs to try some of the paper.
Yeah,
Not
it's
that she
always
takes
so
much
hard,
persuading.
isn't it? But I do genuinely think you'll love it. It's such a lovely paper to work with, especially making flowers. Really love making flowers, and that does give a different luxurious finish to it. And I don't even know if always those kind of subtle textures necessarily come across even in our photos we share with you. You know, we're always trying to get the best photos and the best looks and the best kind of ways to share something with you, but I'm not even convinced always that it comes across in a photo, however hard we try. Now this yellow, this is beautiful. This is a sunrise yellow, and I'm going to go over my dragonflies with this one. And I'm trying not to avoid everything, because I kind of like a little bit of yellow even coming through on our foliage, because we've got that green background, so having a little bit of yellow would actually give a bit more of a toned, blended look to what we're doing. And I'm also trying to get through to the background a bit, because I'm not aiming to cover all of the background, and I could if I wanted to, but you don't want to watch me do this for absolutely hours. But we're going to try and create a bit of a stenciled effect with this panel at the same time, because these dies, they really are a bit of a 2-for-1 really. Not only do we have a beautiful die, we also have that beautiful backing that we can create, a stenciled effect that we can create with it at the same time. Then we're going to go on to our sunset red. We're going to move up to our next brush. Then we're going to add some red details coming in over this lovely bright yellow. And I might even see if I can find some purple as well. See if we can add some purple to the bodies of these beautiful dragonflies.
A quick question from Michael. Evening, Michael.
Evening, Michael.
Wonder if we can use some of the new glitters, please. But I wonder whether you may hang on till Friday for that one.
Friday night, Michael. Join us Friday night at 7, and we will be bringing you the new glitters, the Atomics glitters, as we celebrate Stockist launch night. It should have been this evening, being honest with you, but we have had to postpone it till Friday evening. But Friday evening we will be here from 7 for a bonus live this week, playing with the Atomics glitters to celebrate Stockist launch evening. So please join us on Friday for those. We'll show you some more inspiration. We're currently trying to work through all of the different tips and techniques we can bring you with those. We're up to, I don't even know now. I think we've done about, I don't know, how many do you think we've done? About 10 of the techniques we can do with them, maybe?
I'm sure there's more been added to the list of techniques by now, isn't there?
I don't know, but there's certainly a few more that we can bring you that we haven't already kind of covered, and maybe actually delve slightly further into it, especially some of the ones we covered on Hobby Maker the other day. You might have a few questions about those too. Always hard when you're on air to really delve into every item and kind of show it in every detail. So our lives are always good because we can kind of dig further into them and try and answer your questions. So if you are available on Friday, please do join us then, and we will look more at the Crafty Concoctions collection and of course the Atomics glitters. And also with that in mind, I can give you a little bit of a sneaky about something else thinking about it. Just before we went live this evening, our lovely Emma on our DT started to send through some of the videos that she's been working on for the last couple of weeks with all of the new Crafty Concoctions collections. And oh my goodness, is there some incredible mixes coming from Emma that she's going to be sharing with you. And these are going to be really good little short, sharp videos. These aren't going to be, they're not going to be really long videos. They're literally going to be like 1 minute, 2 minute videos where she brings them in, mixes them together and shows you what you could be creating with them. So even after Friday night's live, don't think you're on your own with the brand new Crafty Concoctions range of products. There will be lots of videos coming your way to make sure you're constantly inspired and constantly being kept up to date with what you could be doing with them. And with that in mind, if you haven't already, I know we're only on about 120 followers to that page, and there's probably more of you going to watch tonight's live than there is already following that page. So if you are watching this and you haven't already, please pop on over to the I've lost the word now. Crafty Concoctions, I will get there in the end, Crafty Concoctions Facebook page and give it a follow, and then that way you'll keep up to date with all the videos Emma shares and lots of card samples from me and the DT too. It's a new page and it's kind of come out of nowhere at a time when we're kind of trying to do about 700 things at once, but we will be doing lots more with that page in the coming weeks. So if you haven't already followed it or become part of it, then we would love to see you on there too if you can, please. Then what we're going to do with this one is we're going to bring in some of our waxes, because we've got to this stage now and we've built up using our stippling, but we're going to go in and go to our waxes. So for this one, I'm going to use some of our gold bullion, which is one of the metallic waxes we bring you. There are 6 colours currently in this collection, and we're going to go over the top of the edges of all of this stenciledness, this stippled creation, and just add in a bit of gold. Now, if you don't want to go for gold, I personally really like working with gold. Gold Mirror card is probably the card I use the most thinking about it, probably out of everything other than white and black. But out of your colours of card, I would go out and say gold is probably my most used. But if you didn't want to, then we do a lovely white, we do a silver, we do a really cool copper, even the copper, or not even the copper. Let's dig into a bit. I think that copper could look, this is the copper. Should we add in a bit of copper? Should we go a bit more vintage? Let's add in some copper. Oh, that looks quite nice, doesn't it? So yeah, maybe some copper instead if you wanted to kind of tone it down slightly, make it look more like aged metalwork. That could work quite nice too. And don't forget, we've coloured this and we've built this all up on top of a white piece of card that we've die cut. We could have done this over a black piece of card, and then we would have ended up with these metallic inks really showing through in a different tone, like we can see underneath. We can see those inks working, we can see these waxes working over the black, and that could look really lovely. And to be honest, in a second I'm going to take this panel away and we're going to work with the panel on its own, but you can see, to be honest, how we could actually have stuck that onto a piece of black card and be working with it as it is, because that really does make quite a nice panel, having the tones come through from underneath with the black instead. And you might wish to leave it as is or anchor it down, or maybe add in some foam tape instead to build that up. But for our card, we're going to stick to the plan and we're going to remove this.
Jackie, but yes, the brushes, some stockists will still have stock of these. We've got more coming in HQ in the next week or so. But if you've got a favoured stockist, then you could request them to order it in for you. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to help.
That's actually a really good point, and I'm sorry because that's me trying to confuse you all, isn't it? And so apologies from my side. Whenever we say about an item selling out here at HQ, that is literally what we mean. It means that we've sent it out because we don't sell direct here at Creative Expressions. We only sell through our stockists. When we talk about an item selling out here at HQ, it literally means that we've sent them out in boxes to our stockists. It doesn't mean the stockists are sold out of them, it just means we have no more to give out to stockists. So do check that stockist list on the Creative Expressions website, as Pete says, or if you have a favourite stockist, have a word with them. They may already have some in their warehouse, in their stock rooms, and they may have lots of stock because if they've bought them all, that's why we're out of them. So do keep an eye on them. But as Pete says, we do have more en route from Polka Doodles already. So it won't be long till if your favourite stockist hasn't got them, we can be sending more out of the door to them. Okay, so back to our panel. I actually really like this. I don't know if that's coming across as well on your screen, but doesn't that look nice? And it gives you a completely different effect with that one die. So we've really truly got a 2-for-1 effect there. The positive and the negative. We trim that down on a guillotine, we plop a die over the top of it, we use one of our nesting dies and cut that out. Maybe we go back in with another colour and actually colour over the rest of the black elements to give a point of difference. The choice is yours, but I'm really happy with that. I think actually, if I'm honest, I think I would take our micro granite clear shard paste and put it over the top. If Pete would go and get that for me, please. It'll be in my TV boxes just outside the door because I've been really lazy today and not unpacked. Have a look and see if you can see it, because what we'll do, and I am teasing you now, but we might put some of that over the top and then show you on Friday how that dried, because I think that that would look really lovely over this. But we'll see if he can find it. So here's another one I did earlier, same ideas, but again, completely different results because I've just chose different colours, different times, different ways. But this is kind of where we're going. I think I prefer this one to that one because I think that one's a bit more vintage, that one's a bit more vibrant, so we're going to go for the more vintage one. And we're going to take again a self-adhesive sheet with card on the reverse of it that's trimmed down. I'm going to go for the pink one. I'm going to go for this one. This is why I can never make any decisions in life. We're going to bring this one in. Yeah, we're going for this one. We're committed. We're going for this one. And we're going to push that down so that once again, we have that lovely dragonfly panel nicely adhered down to that backing. And then again, like we did earlier when we were talking about the panels for the kaleidoscope, this backing is now open and sticky. So we need to put something in it to infill the stickiness because we don't want to leave it open, do we? So it's now down to what do we want to bring into this? Do we want to bring in one of our gemstone glitters? Do we want to bring in our atomics glitters? Do we want to bring in our snow sprinkles instead? There's a lot of options here, but we're going to stick to what I did on the original and we're going to bring in our diamond white glitter. All Pete didn't go and find, start again. Pete has managed to find my micro granite paste clear shards. We'll have a look at that in a second. And I know I'm teasing you because I'm not meant to be playing with them at all. Pete will tell me off. He does that every now and again. Let's sprinkle this over the top. Okay, Pete, any more entries for the top of your Christmas tree?
There's quite a lot. We've got a few.
Have we had, not that it matters, and it can be a star, it can be an angel, it can be a snowflake, it can be whatever you wish for it to be, but just out of pure nosiness, have we had any other strange ones along the lines of a fairy washing up liquid bottle?
No, not at all. No, Alison did say it's because it's a fairy, that's why I should put it
Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Yes.
You know,
we're a bit slow sometimes. We do.
Underfed and underslept.
Underfed and underslept. That does make sense. I do get it now. It did take a while. Thank you for explaining. Okay, we'll pop that back into the jar. These jars are ridiculous. They're so full. We shouldn't moan that they're so full, but they come to you so full. They're such good value for money. But it does mean when it comes to putting it back in the jar, I do need to squidge it in a little bit. Okay, once we have our panel, and I don't know, did I go for the right decision? What do you reckon? Should we have gone for that one? Should we have gone for the more copper panel or the pink? I kind of like the copper. But then the pink, copper, pink, copper, pink. Should we offset them so the pink shines through from underneath the copper? We're not going to. We're going to stick to what we're meant to be doing. So we're going to bring in our frame. Now the frame comes with this one. So the frame is a separate die and it creates the perfect frame to go over the top of this. And it also debosses a little dot running around the side of it. Now each one of these DL panels, to which we have 6 available if I remember rightly, each one has a different outside edge. And they can be completely interchanged between all of the panels. They can also work with the Christmas panels, which are slightly larger, but they will sit over the top of them if you prefer. We're going to bring in our dot and we're going to place this over there, just to bring in that little hint of white, which again goes back to the white found within the glitter. We're then going to bring in our card. Now, let's have a little look and see if I can find my card blank. This is just a standard DL card. And we're going to bring this in and we're going to add some glue to the reverse of this and we're going to pop it onto the card flat, keeping this card very, very simple, not too much faffing at all. And that's actually what I love about our DL panels. They don't have to be complicated, they can be quite simple because the panel is going to do the heavy lifting for you. So we're going to bring that in, place that down. Now you might choose to add a little vellum wrap round it, you might add a little bow round it, you could add a sentiment on a little banner. When we go back to the sale dies in the Black Friday, do you remember that little banner one that I mentioned? That would be beautifully placed in here somewhere, on either side actually, with just a small little word on it if that's what you'd prefer to add onto it. But whether we go very pink, whether we go very vintage, whether we go very bright, either or is going to work perfectly for you to give you a different look to that card, and it just changes up that panel, doesn't it? It also shows you actually here by seeing it in different colours how we could do a multi-fold card with a different colour panel on each layer, or even the same colour on each one if you prefer. Now let's pop some paste through this one and then I think we'll leave you in peace for the evening because we're well over my hour already. I told Pete I'd keep it short and here I am over my hour already. So we'll stick this onto here. We'll come back to this Friday night. So Pete, if you haven't already, get picking your winner.
Heather, you're very bad. Very bad all the way in Oz. She said that she thinks there should be elves on top of the Christmas tree with Jamie and Pete's faces on. And now Tracy seems to think that's a very good idea.
I can kind of see why.
You can.
Well, I don't know about the faces part. I can kind of see elves on the top of the tree. Do you know what talking of trees, I'm going off on a tangent now, so forgive me. I went to America, and I'm going back a long time, pre-Pete, I went to America, so it's got to be 15 years ago now, easily, 16 years ago, something like that. Just before Christmas. It was a lovely experience, I absolutely loved it. And one of the things that struck me as really cool is the amount of ribbon they use on their Christmas trees. I don't know if me and Pete have ever had this conversation, have we? But they do lots of like really chunky, like that size ribbon, and then they bring it down their trees and kind of segregate their trees off, or they wrap it round like they do tinsel here in the UK. Okay. Tinsel didn't seem to be a thing. Maybe it is now, maybe it's caught on, or maybe that was just a fashion and maybe things have changed, I don't know. But the amount of ribbon they used on their trees was really lovely. So whether it was a fad that year or whether it's something that stuck, I don't know. But it was something I really liked and was kind of inspired by. And every year I think, oh, I'm going to get some chunky ribbon, decorate my tree. And I haven't. And when I was at Hobby Maker the other day, interestingly, they had Merry Christmas ribbon wrapped around their tree. And that looked really nice. Okay. I went to dig to have a little look at it and I was very impressed with it. Mm. So maybe that's something we could add to ours. So I'm just moving this around at this stage. But we're going to add this on. I'm going to leave this on this counter. And Friday night, you're all going to have to remind me to dig this out. We'll have a little look at it. And we'll talk more about how we created it and why we've created it and what it's done to our image to see how that dries and how that sets. Because this isn't something I've done before. But I think we're going to end up with a really cool textural panel that might end up looking a little bit like, you know when they make a garden gate and it's got that kind of texture to it, and I don't know what the name is here, Pete, so you're going to have to help me out. But that kind of...
What, a metal gate?
Yeah,
Like with
but
those
it's kind of indented
sandblasted
as if
or-
they've like beaten it up with a little hammer.
Okay. Got a little vision of a little person, like
With a little hammer.
a little hammer.
Just attacking a
I was
garden
thinking
gate.
like sandblast and sort of effect, but I don't know.
Oh no, I
Can't
don't
picture
know.
what you're
This
on
is more
about.
like pitted. As in like dented.
We'll move on. We'll get him some food.
I don't no, stick with me. It is, it's like, help me out here. Am I alone on this? It's highly likely. We all know that's possible. But it is, it's like metal, but it's like indented. So it's got like oh, I'm really getting the faces. Am I on my own? You're going to have to let us know in the comments. And does
Sue
anyone know
says
what it's
hammer,
called?
right?
I don't know.
I thought that was just a
They
paint.
could say anything,
They
to be
could.
honest. They could say whatever they want, and we're
Nikki,
just going to nod.
hammered.
Could be.
Could be
I
like
said
hammered
hammered,
card.
like little hammer.
Got one of them little visions, you know, them blocks of toffee with a little hammer in one of them, and you at a garden gate getting it and whacking it.
Got to get the effect.
You'll be there in
Pete.
about a week.
Probably about a month, not the quickest. Maybe hammered. I don't know.
Wendy says she told you wouldn't stick to the hour.
No, I know. But we are going to leave you all in peace now, I promise, because we've waffled on for far too long. We only did 2 cards, but you did get to see the sale stuff.
Lynn
which
says
is nice.
distressed, lol. I think that is just us. So.
Might be you. Speak for yourself perfectly with it. Thank you very much. Okay, we will leave you all in peace. Have you picked your winner for this evening, Peter? And have you got your little sound box ready?
Oh, I haven't.
Come on then, get your box.
Where's my button?
Over to independent adjudicator hostage, Peter.
Thank you for bearing with us tonight. Thank you all for joining us and joining our fun. So yeah, it's been good. Thanks for all your comments. Oh, I saw a little flash of the box then. So yeah, lots of different bits on top of your trees and that. So our winner this evening is Nikki Carroll. Congratulations, Nikki.
What did Nikki say?
I'll have to have a little look. It was a star on top of the tree, I think, with pine cones and something or other. Poinsettia.
Oh, that
Sounds quite
sounds
fun,
nice.
Need
Put
to
you
get a
on the
picture of
spot
that.
there, didn't I?
You did.
What did Nikki
I remember
say?
2 of the bits out of it. So, yes, if you want to drop us an email, Nikki, as to how you'd like us to get your card sorted.
Very good, very good.
But
Thank
give
you.
the email as well. That'd help. JamieRogersCrafts@hotmail.com. He's going to take me home and feed me now, hopefully. So, thank you all for joining
sound like
us.
you're deprived.
I'm starved.
I
had
remember
a
today.
little Rice Krispie bar, I think, sausage roll.
He lies. He had a whole like punny thing of sausage rolls at some point, and today I know I see them.
2
2
little sausage rolls.
I feel that's more than enough. You're just being dramatic. Well done, Nikki, and thank you all for entering. These are, of course, the cards that you've won today. Let us know if you'd like them signed, as Pete says, and we'll sign them and we'll pop them in the post to you wherever that may be. Thank you all once again for joining us this evening. It's been a joy to be with you. Don't forget, on Thursday, Gwen is going to be launching the brand new Sue Wilson collection. This is only the 3rd Sue Wilson collection under the brand new Creative Expressions name. So it'll be an absolute joy for you all to join in with it, tune in, support Gwen in her 3rd show, flying the Sue Wilson flag, if you can, please. If you didn't see it earlier, just a very quick run through of what that collection includes. We have got geometric hearts, we have got heart background, we have got a lacy stained glass heart, our heart flourishes, our heart wreath, our love word, our from the heart sentiment, and our just for you. And on top of that, we have a heart stencil, an 8x8 stencil of a really cool like formationary style heart that kind of really completes the collection and gives that ability to go much bigger for the backgrounds of your cards if that's something you would like to do with it. And all of that will be launching exclusively on Hobby Maker with Gwen Fletcher on Thursday at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Because of Gwen, he's going to be in the wonderful world of Hobby Maker on Thursday at ending at 7, packing up, getting in a car and heading home. She will not be live with you on Thursday evening. And because we felt you'd already had a couple of hours of the Creative Expressions team waffling on that day, we felt we would bring you an evening on Friday to make up for it at 7 p.m, where we will celebrate the stockist launch on Friday for the brand new Crafty Concoctions brand. And on that evening's live, we will delve into all of this wonderful world of goodies, whether it is the glitters, the inks, or the paste, and we'll have a little play with that little lot and answer your questions. So if you are available to come back and join us Friday evening at 7, me and Pete will be back right here. And on Thursday at 2 and 6, Gwen will be with you live on Hobby Maker with that collection. And then, of course, on Sunday at midday, we have our DT chat. If you haven't joined in with our DT chats yet, it would be a joy to see you join in with these as well. Every week, a different one of our DT join in on Facebook and pop up a post telling you a little bit about their world, a little bit about their crafting, and then answer your questions and just have a general chit chat with you. It's not a live, it's just in text form. Think AOL chat rooms from 1990, but it gives you the ability to get to know our team a little bit more and ask questions if you have any, and kind of delve behind what they create and how they create and why they create it, and also have a bit of a nose at their craft rooms, because lots of them have been sharing photos of their craft rooms with us, which I don't know about you, I absolutely love, because I love to see everyone's craft rooms and see what gems they've got hidden in them. So if you haven't joined in with those, you can of course catch up with them on the Facebook page if you scroll back down and see the previous weeks, or of course you can join in now every Sunday at midday. Okay, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Good night from me.
And good night from me. Thank you for joining us.
And we'll see you all on Friday. Night, night, all.
Good night.
Bye for now.
Bye.